are part of Israel, right? Well, let me ask you, where do you see yourself on this sign? You don't see yourself? What's your nationality? Yeah, Mexican. Yeah, brother, listen. You from the tribe of Issachar. That's right. You are a Mexican, the former Aztecs. You're one of the greatest nations on this earth.
That's right.
You don't understand. They stole that from you. They robbed you of your history. Give me Jeremiah 14 and, what is that, 14 and 2? Let me get Jeremiah 14 and 2. I'm going to show you how it happened. Listen.
Jeremiah 17:4.
You lost your heritage. What? 17:4, my bad, 17:4. We lost our heritage, brother. But, hey, what's your name, brother? Luis. Check this out. This message is beautiful, Luis. Listen.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4.
Bring it out.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
What is your heritage, Luis? Say again. What is your heritage? What do you believe? What are your customs?
The food, the clothes you wear.
You say you were beliefless? Brother, listen. You have to believe in something. So you just out here just aimlessly walking about with no beliefs? What's your heritage? Listen. Look at the sign right here. These are the so-called Northern Kingdom. You see what they have on their garments? You see these what the world ignorantly calls the so-called Indians? You see us down here? What do they got on there? What do they got on their garments? They're wearing fringes. That shows you that when they came up to this side of the earth, they kept God's laws, statutes, and commandments. They know who they were. This is your heritage. This is part of your heritage. How you dress, the foods you eat. Let me ask you something. You eat pork, shrimp, lobster. You eat pork? You don't eat pork? You do eat pork. Not lobster, not shrimp, not crab. Okay, let's get that Leviticus. Leviticus 11 and 7. I'm going to show you something. Part of your heritage is not to eat pork. Part of your heritage is to have fringes on your garments. See, every brother up here's got these fringes. This is not just for show. This is so that we can remember the laws, statutes, and commandments that our God gave us. The God of the Israelites. He's not the God of everybody. He's the God of the Israelites. Read that.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof.
The swine, what's the swine? It's the pig. You said you eat pig, right? You eat pork. Read.
And he be cloven-footed.
So he be cloven-footed. So he's got the cloven foot just like a cow or camel. All of them have that cloven foot, right? Go ahead.
Yet he cheweth not the cud.
Yet he cheweth not the cud. So when you chew the cud, what happens is they have two stomachs. They process the food through one stomach, they regurgitate it, and it comes back up. The cow, let me rephrase that. The cow has that, not the pig. Listen.
He is unclean to you.
He is unclean to you. Now listen, that's very specific. He didn't say he's unclean to everybody. He said he's unclean to you because you are a child of the Most High God. You, Luis, are part of the 12 tribes of Israel. For you have peculiar laws that make you a peculiar people. This is what he's telling you. Read.
Verse 8. Of their flesh shall ye not eat.
You shall not eat their flesh. You understand? Then we got to keep God's laws. This is how we come back to our heritage. We lost our heritage during slavery. You went into slavery in 1492 when Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue, right? You heard that in school, right? And they make you feel like Christopher Columbus was this great discoverer. Well, all he did is rape, rob, killed your people. He murdered your people. He was a tyrannous murderer. That man don't mean nothing to nobody except for these Edomites. We don't hold that man in esteem because you are brother. And that man celebrating Columbus Day celebrates the death and destruction of our people.
That's right.
We don't go, listen, I want you to understand something. All these tribes right here, so you got Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Manasseh, Simeon, all of these people are in the earth today. Every last one of these 12 tribes are in the earth today. I just told you, you are Issachar. You are the tribe of Issachar. You're from a mighty tribe, bro. You're from a mighty tribe. You got to understand something. You got to come back to your heritage. Let me show you. Go to give me Deuteronomy 28:15. I'm going to show you why we're in this condition right now. I'm going to show you what happened to us. Deuteronomy 28:15. So what we're going to talk about right now are the curses. The Most High God said that if we didn't listen to him, if we didn't hearken unto him, to follow all his laws, statutes, and commandments, what I just told you about, not eating pork is a commandment from the Most High God. Wearing your fringes is a commandment from the Most High God. We break them even to this day. We still break them. And that's why these curses are on us today. That's why we are the first fired, last hired. That's why we getting gunned down in the streets. I'm going to show you that's biblical. Read.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15.
Bring it out.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice.
It said, it shall come to pass. So this showing you there's a future prophecy. It shall come to pass. Go ahead, read.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy
What does
God.
hearken mean? Listen. If you will not listen to the read.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments.
To do. 2 words. He said you have to observe to do all his commandments. Read.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day.
So this was Moses speaking to the children of Israel when we came out of Egypt. You know the history of the Israelites walking out of Egypt? Okay, so this is when Moses was giving us the commandments of the Most High God. Read.
That all these curses.
All these what?
All these curses.
So is curse a good thing or a bad thing? It's a bad thing. Say all these curses, read.
Shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
These curses are going to overtake you. They're going to come upon you and overtake you. Look around. Would you say that this is a curse? Would you look in this neighborhood? The ghettos are curses. We live in curses every day, but we become numb to them. We feel like this is just part of life. This is not part of life. We separate ourselves from life. When you separate yourself from the Most High God's laws, you separate yourself from life. And now you have to endure the curses. Read.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
We're in the city right now. When you go to any city, in any part of the world, where are the so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Where they at? Are they at the top? Do they rule? They're at the bottom. They're in the ghettos. They're in the slums. They're the ones that are getting beat down in the streets, shot and killed. No compassion whatsoever. Deported. Right, young people right now. I'm glad you said that. They got your people, young children, in cages. They got them in cages, separated from their parents. Brother, that is a curse. That is an absolute curse from the Most High God. The only way that we're going to overcome those curses is to do what? How do we overcome them? He said, hearken. Hearken. And to do. Remember? You got to go back and do the commandments. You got to come back to your heritage and keep the law, statutes, commandments. And then once you get yourself together, you got to go back and get your people. You got to teach your people. You need to be on this side of the equation, brother, talking to your people. Because there's a lot of Hispanics right now who don't want to listen to us. We don't speak the language, right? We got that barrier between us. But they don't understand. We out here protesting. We're not protesting. We out here fighting for their salvation. We trying to wake you up. We trying to help you to understand who you are according to the Bible.
That's right.
Read.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city. Every city you go to, it's the same condition. Black people at the bottom. Hispanics at the bottom. Native Americans at the bottom. And the same people up top talking about we all equal. How the hell we all equal and we always at the bottom?
That's right.
How is that possible? You cannot be equal when you're at the bottom.
That's right.
Let me get drop that. Let me get Zechariah 11 and 5. I'm gonna show you something. This right here is the prophecy I mentioned earlier, and I want to see if both of y'all can tell me who this happens to. Read.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11 and verse 5.
Bring it out.
Whose oppressors slay them.
Hold on, wait for this to go down. Read.
Whose possessors slay them.
Whose possessors? Are we been possessed by somebody? Yeah, we've been possessed by somebody. The so-called white man, right? The so-called Chinese man. The so-called Indian man. We are all these nations. They have us in oppression. Read.
And hold themselves not guilty.
They do what?
And hold themselves not guilty.
How many times have you seen that play out? Where they kill a brother in the street, they kill a Hispanic in the street, they kill a black man in the street, and find themselves not guilty. How many times that happened? That's Bible prophecy. The Bible just called that out. I'm going to show y'all something else. Give me Isaiah 42:22.
Bring it out.
Bring me Isaiah 42:22. Now I want y'all to tell me who is this talking about?
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 22.
Bring it out.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
We are people robbed and spoiled. Look at us. We don't have nothing. We struggle every day. We struggle to just barely make a living out here to try to survive. We've been robbed. They're taking everything from us. We're spoiled.
Right.
Teach. Read.
They are all of them snared in holes.
They're snared in holes. They don't understand. They got traps out here for us. Everywhere you turn, there's a trap. Everywhere you look, they pulling you over. They racially profiling you. They beating the hell out of you. Read.
And they are hid in prison houses.
Who's hid in all the prison houses?
Teacher.
We make up the smallest percentage of the population, but you go to any jail, any prison. Who's in there? It's us. This Bible is your book, brother. This is your history book. This Bible is talking about you, trying to wake you up, trying to get you to understand. The reason these things are happening to you is because you turned your back on the Most High God. You turned your back on the Most High God. Let me, Mark 12:27.
Bring it out,
Mark 12:27.
Bring it out,
I want to show you something right here. I'm going to show you the God we serve. See, a lot of people think there's no God no more. A lot of people feel like all these things have been happening for so long, they done lost faith in God. God is still here. He's still alive. He's still working with his people. But he's waiting on us to come back. He's waiting on us to understand that we had to come back to him. He's not going to come back to us. We got to come to him. You understand? Read.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 12 and verse 27.
Bring it out.
He is not the God of the dead,
He's not the God of the dead. He's the God of the living. Read.
but the God of the living. Ye therefore do greatly err.
So when you think that there's no God, when you don't have a belief, okay, when you don't have a belief system, you basically saying you don't believe in God. You giving up on the God. You do greatly err. Now my brother right here, what's your name? Zuriel, I'm gonna show you something, Zuriel. Let's get Corinthians 11:3. 3:16. Corinthians 3:16. Zuriel, I'm gonna show you something. I want to show you that this is what we're about to bring out. This is what we're supposed to do to help our people. We got to educate our people. We got to teach them. You probably never heard this before. You probably don't know this. So I'm going to address something. I'm going to address something with you right quick. Let's read.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16.
Bring it out.
Know ye not that ye are the temple of God?
You are the temple of God, my brother. We are all the temple of the Most High God. God dwells within us. Read.
And that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you.
God's Spirit dwells within you. He's within all of us. Read.
If any man defile the temple of God,
If any man defile the temple of God, read.
him shall God destroy.
So I'm going to ask you, what do you think you're doing right now that's defiling your temple? You smoking, brother. That cigarette that you inhaling that smoke, that's defiling your temple. You are the temple of the Most High God. His Spirit dwells in you. And as you continue to inhale that cigarette, he said, read again.
If any man defile the temple of God,
If any man, you're a man, right? If any man defile the temple of God, read.
him shall God destroy.
God will destroy you through cancer. God can destroy you through any number of diseases. You have to understand, brother, we serve a mighty God, a terrible God. Now, again, this is love, brother. We just want you to understand. Change, bro. This is what we're trying to do, is wake our people up so we can come back and serve the true God. You understand? Hey, get that brother clap. Get that brother clap. All praise. There we go. All praise. That right there is repentance.
To scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.